Welcome to the Jazz Piano School podcast, episode number 257. My name is Brenden Lowe, creator and founder of Jazz Piano School. In this particular podcast episode, I'm going to show you the very, very best way to learn your drop 2 voicings very fast, plus multiple variations that you can learn with this strategy, and how to integrate them into the 2 specific parts of the piano that you should use them for. Okay, my Accelerator program is still open, and I am working with students. Currently, there's 12 students out of 20. We have 8 spots left before the program closes enrollment on September 6th. That's when the official program starts. If you're interested in working with me personally and the other students in this small cohort, go to jazzpianoschool.com/small group, and you'll get the calendar to all the events for this private small group program I'm currently running. All right, with that being said, let's dive right in. All right, so here's going to be the best way to learn your drop 2s. I want you to take your rootless voicing. Here's your rootless voicing. 3, 5, 7, 9. You're going to play the bass note in your left hand, and you're going to play a 7 in your right hand. Excuse me, in the thumb of your left hand. Okay? Now, as you can see here, I'm doubling this C natural here. All I want you to do is lift your third finger up, and this is going to create your drop 2 sound. Now, we do have a bass note in our left hand. We can either play that bass note or we can play it without it. So this is a drop 2 right here. So a drop 2 simply means you're taking the second voice from the top of your voicing. And obviously you can see the notation there. In the stack, the C is the second voice from the top, and we're dropping that down to our left hand. Now, the way a lot of educators teach this is they'll say, okay, here's your drop 2. They might even teach it like this, like 2 notes in either hand, which gets really confusing to me, and I do not like this education path whatsoever. The steps that I'm showing you are extremely easy, and by playing 1 and 7 in your left hand, you can clearly see you're already placing the C in your left hand, which is the note you're going to drop. When you don't play 1 and 7, if you play your rootless voicing, you're trying to count, you're trying to say, okay, I'm dropping this, and then when you go to a new chord, you're like, okay, what note do I drop to my left hand, right? But by playing 1 and 7, you're going to get that drop to effect quickly every time. So your rootless voicing in your right hand, 1 and 7 in your left hand. Now the rootless voicing you're going to use for a minor 7 chord is going to be 3, 5, 7, 9, right? And we can do this in both ways. Now when you play 7, 9, 3, 5, this structure for your rootless voicing, right? It's a different structure than the other one. In your left hand, you're going to play 1 and 3. Because, check it out, the second note from the top now is an F, and 1 and 3, this makes our drop 2. So I'm going to remove my third finger here. Here's my drop 2 sound. I can take out my bass note. I'll talk more about that in a second, but here's a traditional drop 2 voicing that stems from playing my rootless voicing in my right hand, 1 and 3 in my left hand, and then removing certain components very easily to get that sound you're looking for, right? Let's talk about a 2-5-1, for example. When we move through our 2-5-1 in the key of C, for example, with our rootless voicings, this is what it will sound like. 3, 5, 7, 9, 7, 9, 3, 13, 3, 5, 7, 9. Right? Now, in our left hand, to get our drop 2 sound, what we're going to do, there's this fire truck going by. What we're going to do is we're going to play 1 and 7 in our left hand with the minor 7 chord. Now, this is for structure 1 rootless voicing only. 3, 5, 7, 9 is starting on the minor chord. We're going to move to 1 and 3 in our left hand as our right hand rootless voicing switches. And then we're going to go back to 1 and 7. So our left hand through this 2-5-1 goes like this. 1 and 7, 1 and 3, 1 and 7. Okay, I'll do it with my rootless voicings now. Rootless voicing on top, 1 and 7 in my left hand. Rootless voicing on top, 1 and 3 in my left hand. Rootless voicing on top, 1 and 7 in my left hand. Now, all we have to do to get a full 2-5-1 drop 2 sound is remove our third finger from our right hand rootless voicings, and we will achieve the drop 2 sound that you're looking for. Drop 2. Drop 2. I've just removed my third finger. I'm no longer playing my third finger at all in any of these voicings. And this instantly gives you the drop 2 sound that you're looking for with a bass note included. Okay? Now let's do the other version, the other structure of rootless voicings you'll learn in jazz, in all jazz. You can find this free on the internet, obviously on my podcast and others' websites. 7, 9, 3, 13 of a D minor 7. Now structure 2 goes like this. Your thumb's going to drop down, 3, 13, 7, 9, 3, 13, 7, 9, and then 7, 9, 3, 5 for your major 7. D minor 7, rootless voicing, G7, rootless voicing, C major 7, rootless voicing, okay? Now remember when I said before, things are flip-flop now. We're using an inversion, so our left hand now is going to start on 1 and 3, 1 and 3. It's going to go to 1 and 7, back to 1 and 3. And once we've practiced this, again, to get your drop 2 sound, the only thing you got to do is remove your third finger. So just remove your third finger. Don't play it anymore, but play everything else. Drop 2. Drop 2. How easy is that, right? So again, when educators teach this, or when you see this in books, sometimes you see this. Now, if I remove my bass notes out of that entire sequence, it'll sound like this. Here's with bass notes, or roots of the chord. Now I'm going to remove my roots or my bass notes, and it sounds like this. And if I comp with a little rhythm, right? You're getting that official Bill Evans drop 2 sound right there. But so many people start or teach, and I don't know why this happens. They teach 2-hand voicings like this, with 2 notes in each hand, right off the bat. So you're having to learn like these 4-note spreads, 2 notes in each hand, without knowing where they come from, what notes move, and you're trying to memorize that. But you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone and a lot more too by just learning your rootless voicings. And the reason I love this option too is because it allows you to put a bass note in your voicing as well, which I use all the time. When I comp, I'm using my drop 2s with a bass note a lot. And sometimes obviously I use it without it too. So here's without my bass note in the key of F, right? Here's a G minor 7, C7, F major 7. I'll use this all the time. It's a great, lush, thick sound, adding that bass note into your voicing. Right? Just like this. So let's talk about the registers and how we use this. I'm going to talk about 2 registers right now, the mid to low and the middle. Each register of the piano contains certain stylistic voicings that you want to use. You can't really use a rootless voicing in your left hand down here, but you can use a rootless voicing in your left hand up here, right? So certain registers of the piano lend themselves to specific voicings. The mid to low portion of the piano, from about this F to about A or B flat here. This is middle B flat. This will be the top note of your voicing. This area right here really lends itself really well. Really, how many times can I say really, right? to these types of voicings. Because you get a little bass note in there, excuse me, you get your drop 2, and it's a nice lush voicing. Now the true drop 2 voicing without a bass note is going to work best. You can do it in the middle, anywhere in the middle of the piano. So from about here, see, this is a little bit too low to do that, right? But right about here, or even a little bit lower, let me see, that's D, B flat. This still sounds good. It's just getting a little muddy still. So right about here, even the C minor, this area right here, this is middle C right here, okay? So right around middle C is where you can start your true drop 2 voicing without a bass note. But they're primarily used more towards above middle C. In this area here, to comp with, right? Okay, and so down here, when we start to add in our bass note, it's going to give us this rich, lush sound. And then we'd move through our 2-5-1 like this. So how do we practice this? Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to know your rootless voicings. Practice your rootless voicings with your bass note in your left hand. Learn that first for both structures. If you don't know your rootless voicings, I have many podcasts on the rootless voicings. Go listen to that. The next step is going to be to practice your rootless voicings, with 1 and 7, going to 1 and 3, going to 1 and 7. When your right hand is playing structure 1. When your right hand's playing structure 1, you're going from 1 and 7 to 1 and 3 to 1 and 7 in your left hand. When your right hand's playing structure 2, you're using 1 and 3 to 1 and 7 to 1 and 3. Okay, that's the next step. The next step, the third step, is to simply, this is the easiest of them all, we're going to remove something. We have all the components we need. Now we're removing our third finger from our right hand. Super easy. Like we've already played it, we just remove a note. Okay? Right? And then if we don't want the bass note in there, all we got to do from this step is just to remove the bass note. Whoops, sorry about that. And again, in the mid to low section of the piano, which I call it, this is my educational philosophies, I've kind of coined this, each section of the piano. I don't really hear anyone else talk about this, but mid to low, you're using, it's really nice to use that bass note in there. Now you can start to change your extensions around too if you want. Flat 9 maybe, flat 9, flat 13, or maybe just flat 13. Right? And that'll give you different chord qualities through your drop 2s. And especially if you take out your bass note. And a cool little trick I like to do is roll up to my note here. Get a little bring. And you can actually harmonize the top note in your voicing and the 7 here. Really, really nice, authentic, pro jazz drop 2 voicings. The best way to learn them and how to integrate them into the different areas of the piano for your comping and voicing work that you might do for solo piano, when you're with an instrumentalist, a vocalist, whatever it is, right? But again, those steps, if you follow them, that is going to get you to learn drop 2s so much easier, I promise you, than anything else you'll find out there in books, YouTube videos, anything else, any sort of practice exercise. When you follow those steps in that path, I guarantee you'll be playing drop 2s in so many different ways, not just one way, not just like this, so many different ways. Down here, right? Up here, the rootless voicing structure 2, stuff like this. You'll be playing all of that in no time, I promise. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll talk to you soon. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. Don't forget to go to jazzpianoschool.com to check out all of our free, amazing education, all of the free podcast blogs. We do have a membership if you're looking to take a next step forward with us, get access to over 1,000 different jazz piano videos, playbooks, mini courses, a main course curriculum, success path, and so much more. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at support@jazzpianoschool.com. I hope you have a wonderful day, and as always, happy practicing.